I'd like to.
I do have a question. Um, just by way of example, I have a memory of being in the womb, like a somatic.
Well, part of learning how to work on yourself is breaking down all those old habits of the way we once lived, and being able to get past them and to transform them into a whole different approach to living our lives. And that really is what this work is all about. The training in this work is about each and every one of us. We have to break ourselves down. We have to finally take a good look in the mirror and say, hey, you know, we need to change. We have been molded, we have been conditioned to live in certain patterns by our family, by religion, by, the politics, by the countries we live in. And we have to take a good look in the mirror and say, no, we have to change inside ourselves. And not saying that all the things that people impose upon us or society proposes upon us is negative. It's not. But building an inner life that is strong enough to sift through all of that stuff and to find the things that are truly nurturing for you and to be able to build a system inside that can let go of the things that are creating guilt, insecurity. You're a victim of life, you're a victim of other people. You have to build a strength inside yourself that enables you to do this. It doesn't just happen. You have to build the kind of inner strength that enables you to do what I'm talking about. That is what, inner work, meditation, whatever you want to call it, is involved with, is building that kind of system that can finally allow us to let go of all the things we've imprisoned ourselves with. Most people live in a prison, and it's a manufactured prison that they create for themselves because, they don't let go of all of the different experiences that have controlled them. People just disappear here. I tell you, it's not good. Oh, there you are. Okay. You know,
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
you know, and that's what this work is about. It's getting free. And getting free is not a political thing. It's not an economic thing. Getting free of oneself. If you get free of yourself, you will get free of racial prejudice. You'll get free of political prejudice. You'll get free of chauvinistic prejudice. You'll get free because we latch on to all of those things that, give us this sense that we're living in a prison. And we have manufactured that prison for ourselves. And it's a way of keeping us from functioning on the highest level that we can function on, of really living a creative life, having joy and love in our life, having compassion in our lives. We manufacture this prison, and we manufactured it from all the different, you know, ingredients that the world presents to us. And we create a prison for ourselves. And that is really what this meditates, getting free. You have to get free of yourself. And it takes time, it takes patience, and I'll tell you what it also takes, a lot of guts. You know, it takes a lot of courage to do what I'm talking about. Finally, to be able to not have to be a victim of anyone or anything, not have to be guilty about things we did in the past. You know, that we can open our hearts and live and breathe and take life a moment at a time and live in the present, not being formulated and formed by experiences from the past. Now, this is difficult to do. I know I'm asking a lot, but then again, I think, what is the alternative? The alternative is that we remain inmates in our own particular prison we're manufacturing for ourselves. And
Can
then,
I add something? Oh, sorry.
huh?
No, I was just going to ask if I could add something, but I'd rather
Yeah, go
hear
ahead.
what you were just going to. Oh, okay. Um, so it's like even in those moments where it felt like we didn't have control, because I used that example because it was like I was a baby or a fetus, and it's like I just got overwhelmed with stuff. And so then that kind of froze in time as something that like I was a victim to rather than something that I was had the capacity to change. But like you're saying that now we do have the capacity to change. We can
You absolutely,
undo those moments.
yes, you have enormous power inside yourself. If you connect your consciousness with energy that's infinite in the universe, it will give you the answers you need to free yourself of all the things that people have done to you in your life. I mean this, but you got to build a system inside. I keep telling people this. You got to build a system inside that enables you to do it. If you say, well, I am entitled to do it, doesn't work. Why am I so unhappy? Why am I entitled to being and you don't do the work to truly develop that self-worth in yourself, that strength that enables you to stay connected to energy where there's real wisdom, where there's real knowledge, where there's real love, unconditional love. That's we need to build an inner life that enables us to connect with all of that. And then all that crap from it just falls away. Someone say, I can't be bothered with that. I have too much responsibility to live my life in the moment. I cannot get caught up in all the crap that's happened to me over the last how many years, you know? And I think that's an extraordinary way to live, you know, because the only thing that's real is this moment. Everything that's happened to us, it just trails us like some kind of shadow. And we hold on to it because we're not living in the moment or we're projecting into the future. And, you know, the future is literally what you do with your life today determines the future, not you projecting the way you think you want to live. I mean, yes, it's good to have goals, but you got to build your life in the moment in order to attain something that might resemble the goal you had in your head. Because that's all we have. What do we have? Present, past doesn't exist anymore. The future hasn't come yet. And yet we spend all our time being guilty about the past, being a victim of the past, being conditioned by all those experiences of the past. And they're all just like shadows. They don't exist. It's like in the Bible, you look through a glass darkly, you know? You don't really see what it was. You see a version of it based upon the way you're living today. That's the past. You interpret the past. You don't relive it. You can live in the present, but you got to build an inner life that is strong enough to do it. Because, so much stuff goes on in this world that really acts as defers us doing what I'm talking about. We need to get strong enough to do it. And I hopefully, look, I can tell you, I mean, look, if I ever had to write a book about what I've been through in my life, it would be something like 10,000 pages long. That's why I never do it. Who has the time and the energy to write a book like that? Of all the nonsense I have been through in my life with people, with situations, with everything, And the only thing that matters, Stuart, are you strong enough today not to get sucked into all of that stuff and not to sit around here projecting the future, but not living today? But to live in this moment, you really have to build a chakra system that's very strong. I mean, 9 tenths% of the human race live in their heads. And the head is like a ping pong match between the past and the future. Past and the future. And then, and then you have the emotions, which are like quicksand, that create fear and insecurity and, anger and, diminishing oneself. But living in the present means you got to be grounded. The heart has to be open. The mind has to be quiet. It's an extraordinary result of doing meditation. That should be the result. Forget about a spiritual life. If that result manifests inside you, you will have a spiritual life, living in the moment. What does it matter what anybody has ever said to us? What does it matter? It only matters if you feel that insecurity that you latch on to these things and they make you feel worse. But if you have that security and that well-being in yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody said. You're living in your life creatively in the moment. I hope it's clear, you know. I'm not saying this is easy to do, but it's possible if you get the training. I mean, if you want to be a dancer, you got to get training. You want to be a violinist, you've got to get training. You want to be a lawyer or a doctor or anything, any profession, a plumber, for God's sake, a carpenter, you've got to get training. I mean, a surgeon, imagine a surgeon performing an operation, not knowing what they're doing. It was a dangerous person. And this is the same thing. How do you live in the moment unless you've had training to build a system that enables you to do it? And you want to be a doctor, you got to go to teachers to learn how to be a doctor. You want to be a lawyer, you got to go to teachers. You want to be a dancer, an acrobat, an actor, whatever, You want to be a business person, you got to get training. You have to learn how to do it. And that's what this is all about. Look, I found somebody who was over the path. He had gone through it, managed to do it. He trained me. I've been over that path. My job is to help people build that system in themselves that can enable them to go over their path, whatever it uniquely is, so they can have a connection with spirit. They can live in the moment. They can get free of all that crap that just does nothing but, destroy people, turns them into crazy people, you know? I hope, not only for you, Leisha, but for everybody. I hope this is all clear. This is really important part of this practice. Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart?
Yeah, I want to ask you, what should I do to keep the energy?
Well, Daniela, you're doing it, Daniela. I can't keep you away from these meditation. I mean, look, you're in San Francisco, you're in Monterey, you're in the classes. You have a very deep need for a spiritual life. You're attending these classes, getting the energy is really helping to cure you and to help you get over a difficult problem. And it's also getting you closer and closer to a much higher state of consciousness. You're doing it. Now just have patience because it takes time for all this stuff to come together in you as a human being living your life every day. It takes time. We need patience. I need to have patience. I need to have patience with myself. I need to have patience with all of you. It's a big, it's a big work to have patience with a lot of people. So just continue what you're doing, Daniela. It's working very well. It's working very, very well. Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart, I have a very different question.
Yes.
Is there a symbolism or meaning behind flowers?
Uh, I wrote a book called Lotus Flower and Muddy Waters.
Got that book.
It's the symbol of Tibetan Buddhism.
Hmm.
We all are, my whole talk, the last 20 minutes, is about us being a lotus flower growing out of muddy waters. We all have muddy waters. We have to learn, the lotus flower, the seed, the roots, the stem, it uses the muddy water, the mud, the dirt, as food to grow. We have to learn to use the muddy water of our life as food to grow. I mean, flowers, they're in dirt. They get their nourishment from dirt and water and dirt. And we all live through that. We all go through hell in one form or another. And we have to learn to transform it into that which nurtures us and gives us a spiritual life and allows us to become human beings on a very high level. I mean, my teacher Rudy always talked about tension being human compost. And compost creates organic gardens. You got to compost a garden to create, an organic tomato, or, broccoli or whatever. We have to learn to transform the muddy water of our life into something that truly creates an internal organic garden in us. So I think flowers have that symbol. But then again, I'll go back. That's the work of meditation, whatever work a person determines they have to do in it, they have to do it. Otherwise, they spend their life literally drowning in muddy water, tension, insanity that goes on in life. And the wonderful thing is, we all can do this for ourselves. It's not something that is out of our reach. We have all the tools, we have everything that can make it possible to transform the muddy water of our life into a lotus flower. We have to learn to use it, to master the tools. I hope that's clear. It's a very important thing. And it shouldn't be something that intimidates anyone. It's something you have to learn how to do. That's all. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions, there'll be meditation on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you for your questions, presence in this meditation class. You know, it's a very great treasure. And I have to just thank everybody. In all humility, thank you all for being part of this. So hopefully I'll see you all Tuesday, and God bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.